Reading is way more important than watching television. I kind of done remixed it a little bit though for the 2020. Heard that the other day. That was hilarious. So I say, cut Wi-Fi off, open a book, because in the era right now, some people, they ain't really on the cable, they ain't really watching this TV. It's more of like, we Netflixing it, we streaming, wherever, on the laptop, on the phone, on the tablet. That's life right now. So I say, man, fuck that. Cut Wi-Fi off, open a book, turn them pages. And that's what this is all about. I really want to thank my boy for getting me to read this book, man, because I wouldn't have read it right now. Like it's been sitting on my shelf. I'm collecting books. Like I'm gonna get to every last one of them. No, I'm not just buying books just to like have them sitting on my shelf and look pretty and say I got books. Hell no. I'm buying books that I actually want to read. Trying to damn near do a book report on all these shits. Read for understanding. So that's what this is about. That's what this is all about. Tonight we're going to review the ISIS papers, the keys to the colors, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. We're going to pick up on chapter 4, which is learning to look at symbols, February 1979. February 1979. You know that? I'm going to start the review with the little excerpt she got on 53. So I ain't going to read that right now. I'm going to wait till he get on the line. My boy Blaze get on the line. She opened it up. Oh, hey, what's up, bro?
What's happening with you?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Hey, thank you.
Oh, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
All good.
How you been?
Down there on the couch watching a movie down there falling asleep.
Yeah, you was slumped. I already know when I said 11, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, on a Tuesday. But we going up. We going up. You know what I'm saying? Let's knock this thing on that, man. Why I got you here.
Yeah, let me get right here.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick.
Yeah, this one is fairly short. So, but yeah, I think it had some good information. She had a title for it, but I call this the brain computer. This what this was all about. I was thinking about putting that shit on a shirt. Trying to figure out a little logo for the brain computer.
All right, let me see if I can do this real quick. Yeah. I ain't get a chance to twist me nothing up.
Do you feel like because I actually need to do that, but I know you was kind of saying you was down, so I didn't want to waste no more time, but I need to do that. So we could actually do that while we're talking, I'm saying, if you want to. I don't know if you was trying to do that or not.
You just know me, I got that old grinder at the crib. I don't want to get them clicks in your recording.
Oh man, that's what they live for that. They live for that. You must ain't heard the last podcast I dropped in, because they live for that type of action. What? They want that realistic, you know what I'm saying? They living it with you. Like if somebody would listen to this, it's like they want to kind of be in the moment. So all that extra little stuff you do, as long as it ain't like distortion of audio, or it's like something that's gonna like just be irritating. But come on, man. Yeah, this is a smoke and read session, and it would only be right that they hear that grinder clicking, you know? It would only be right, man. Like when
I guess it was a respect thing.
Oh, okay. Well, you got a little reverence, you know, got a little couth about yourself. I like that, you know what I'm saying? Compliments of the West Side.
That's it. But I'll be down if I ain't finna click this bitch right now.
Wait a minute. I fell for it.
I gotta roll up.
I fell for it. I thought he wasn't gonna do it.
Hell no, dude, you okayed it.
I did, but the way you was talking, you were like, I just ain't wanna. I was like, okay, I can respect that, you know. That nigga said, damn, that is too funny. Oh shit! You got to see my new rolling tray. I done stepped it up. I'm pretty proud of the rolling trays for the studio. So it ain't something I could take places, but yeah, when we in here recording or just kicking back, chilling, yeah, got me a pretty decent one.
I saw there was a girl who was making them.
Oh really?
You know, I seen a Dallas Cowboys, and she actually had a bunch of different ones. She was advertising as that, like a smoker's tray.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. When you're in the crib, man, you know, deep couch sitting. That's what I call it. You know, when you in that thing, shit. You know, you need your little tray. Have all your little, you know, fundamentals. Have everything you need. All the accessories. That's what I be stressing.
Man, you a hype.
Exactly.
And then you don't know why they had you thinking that little scene right there. Man, you a hype.
Yeah, man. Some truth to that.
No, it's all good though. All good.
What'd you think of the section?
I thought it was good. I kind of would have. I thought it was gonna be a little bit longer. I thought she was gonna she definitely dropped jewels. I don't want to sound like I'm disappointed in the section and then like that. But I thought she was gonna go a little bit more in detail with some of the stuff. But nonetheless, I did get some stuff out of it.
Yeah, you wanted more. You yearned for more. You know?
Right. See, symbols, my mind was going a bunch of different places. Just based on stuff that I've kind of heard, and I was kind of looking. Well, she did kind of connect some dots for me, but like I said, that you hit it on the head. I just kind of felt like I wanted a little bit more.
No, same here. Same here, bro. Same here. Like so I was reading, I was really just starting to get into it. I was like, damn, this one. Okay, you know. Let me slow down. Let me start here. All right, let me start here. Because I've been listening back to the recordings, and okay, but I kind of want to take it in a different direction now. So I'm really reading this context, like reading this text, and I want to digest it for what it really is, and not from a preconceived notion. Like I already know this lady, and I've read some of this stuff. I've heard a lot of it from just listening to her talk, but I'm coming into it like, okay, I already know this. Stop doing that. Like read the text and digest the text for what it really is. So that's what I want to kind of do tonight. Like that's my approach. I mean, I'm not telling you to change anything you're doing. I'm just saying for me, I'm trying to do something a little different because I'm listening back and I'm like, yeah, nah, that ain't even. It's cool, but you know, 86 and 86. So yeah, I was going somewhere with that. Because you said something that made me. I was finna say something, then I was like, let me say this before I say something, and now I can't remember what I was finna say. If that make any sense.
Yep. Definitely do. It's all good.
What was the last thing you said that might trigger something for me?
I was talking about how I kind of thought that we kind of was agreeing that we that it was more that we kind of wanted out of.
There we go.
Out of.
Thank you so much. What I was going to say is that so we've been reading this book. This is I think fourth chapter, and honestly, this resonated with me the most. It was the shortest, but it was straight to the point. She dropped some jewels and she got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't see me, that type of shit. So I appreciated that for this one. I hope all of them ain't finna be like that going forward, but for this one, this particular breaking down the brain computer, which is something that I definitely have heard her speak about before, I'm like, okay, this is nice to have a chapter on it. So I like that. I appreciated that. Got in, got out.
Right. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely got something out of it. It's almost like reading this is almost like watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost kind of like, at least when I'm reading it, she paints vivid pictures. At least I can picture the stuff that she's talking about, and it's like you kind of hanging on to damn near every word, kind of like waiting to see what she gonna kind of damn near reveal next. At least that's kind of how I've been reading, like a bit of suspense in the shit.
Yeah, no, that's real. Not just like instead of a movie review, we doing like a book review, but it do feel like a movie with these chapters, And I don't know if it rings true or not, but you be having these good ass movies that they made like from books. Like, you be like, damn, that was a good ass movie, but man, go read that book. The book is always. I'm gonna stamp that. I'm gonna go on a limb. Yeah, it's like you ain't never seen a movie that's from a book, and the book is not better than the movie. Like, the movie might be good as hell, but man, you still go read that book and be like, man, they ain't really even do it justice, because they ain't show this, they ain't put that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have kind of noticed that. I don't know what you think. You kind of a movie buff on the low. What you think? What you think on that comment? I'm jumping out on a limb.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I've actually experienced enough of those scenarios to really make a sound like response in terms of where I've actually seen the movie and I read the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't really experienced that enough to really say. You know what I'm saying? I could imagine how that could be true, but I done definitely watched way more movies than I've read books.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go with this angle then. It's your imagination. Like, you're reading these words and they're in your head, and you got to interpret it however you interpret it. But it's your vision, so you see it. It's so vivid. Do you think that somebody could capture that and put that on the big screen accurately? Possibly, but they might miss some stuff. They ain't gonna get everything. With that book, you get everything. You know what I'm saying? Just by that alone, I'm that's how I'm looking at it.
No, I agree with that because it's just someone else's interpretation of the same text. You know what I'm saying? Even like when me and you going through it, I'm highlighting certain parts, you highlighting certain parts. But if both of us made the movie on the ISIS paper, then we would probably, like you said, we would leave out some stuff just because we may not have thought it was as important as the other person did to add in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with that. But the book would probably tell, like, from the author's perspective, the book would tell the true tale. It would have everything in there, and then you can kind of decipher from what you want to take from that. So, based on that, I could agree with you on that. Because the book ain't been stepped on, really. The book, that's that blue magic.
Thank you. A1. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Perfect analogy. So you going public, man. You telling people about the book study. You know what's going on? I ain't even know you were sharing with the world.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna throw this out there. So every time I haven't done it a lot, you know what I'm saying, but I feel like two things. I feel like one, just for what this is worth, every time I've actually opened my mouth to say something to somebody about it, I always, as I'm actually talking to them, I'm thinking about you in the back of my mind, like, damn, should I be saying this or should I not be saying this? Because we kind of talked about it, but we really did. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever that's worth, I throw that out there. And secondly, it's like, if I brought it up, I feel like it was damn near warranted, or I kind of felt like, man, I need to throw this out there just kind of like as a seed to kind of throw it out there at this point, just to kind of let people know, like, shit, me and my boy got some shit going on that I think you might be interested in. Just something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Because that accountability term is big, and I think that's something that resonates with people in all different facets. You know what I'm saying? People who really are business minded, who really are trying to about progress and trying to get shit done. And I think the last time I mentioned that to somebody, I think that's the word, or that's the thing, or the scenario that kind of evoked me to say something about it. Just the idea of how the accountability that it creates by us doing it, you know what I'm saying, having to be on time, having to try to have your shit together before you get to that type of thing. I think people is why I had been bringing it up when I have, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, like, I'm glad you brought all that up, because I've been meaning to, like, just thank you, because I needed this in my life right now. I needed some type of regiment. I needed something to hold, like, you know, I'm going to do this, like, and see it through.
Right.
So, you know, like, sometimes, you know, like, I like it. I'm enjoying all this, but, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, okay, let me get to it, because I know I gotta be ready when it's time to do you know, the call. So the accountability factor is something that I know about and I talk about, but, man, you know, who the fuck holding me accountable but myself? Like, so I can self-regulate, you know, and I need to have a little more discipline, you know. So this is a discipline, form of discipline. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we all need that shit.
I'm trying, man. Really am.
Nah, that's real. We just gotta. That's what it's about. That's the power of, you know, of community, and, you know, and team building. You know what I'm saying? That's the benefit of it. You know what I'm saying? You have people who gonna call you on your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And I like it all the time, but, you know, that's one of the things me and my wife talk about a lot, because I think in marriage, I think that's, I mean, you could probably attest to this or not, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like that's kind of what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's accountability at its finest, you know what I'm saying? It's communication, saying this, doing that, you know what I'm saying? Following up, you know what I'm saying? That's accountability is big in relationships, you know what I'm saying? It's big.
So, watch this, though. I don't know if you agree with this. I'm going to throw it out there. This is how I kind of see it. When it comes to accountability, you know, I'm very, like hesitant to use that word, because I truly can't hold anybody accountable for their actions but myself. And the only reason I say it is because, like, there's, like, I can say, you know, like, hey, you are accountable for, you know, for this, and you need to do this and do that, whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have no army to enforce that shit. I ain't got nothing like to where you must do this. You must be accountable for your actions. Like, I don't have that. So because of that, how can I truly say I'm going to hold someone accountable for their actions? You know, I think that the person has to be accountable for themselves. And if they know that this must be done or this is what it is, then bro, you got to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know that's the part of this that, you know, it's a function and it keeps everything rolling. This is what it is. I got to do it. You got to do it, whatever. This is the holding ourselves accountable, not so much of I'm going to hold you accountable for that, because I technically, from my logic, I don't think that I can do that. If I had the motherfucking, Marines or whatever, then nigga, I can do whatever, But right now, I can't do nothing. That's what
right.
I was getting at. Might have went too deep, but that's what I was thinking.
No. So no, I agree with you. So what I'm saying, when I'm speaking in terms of holding someone else accountable, what I'm speaking about is holding them accountable for what they say. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in a relationship. So now we're speaking to like the energy between like two people. So if I tell you, all right, Doug, tonight at 11 o'clock, this is what we're going to do. And then, come 11 o'clock, you have every right to call me at 11:05 if I hadn't, you know what I'm saying? This would be a scenario where you would be holding me accountable essentially for what I have said, because I said it, I put it in the atmosphere amongst our relationship. So you're not necessarily holding me accountable for my actions, but you're more so kind of holding me accountable for my words and what I actually told you and the truth that I put into our relationship. You know what I'm saying? So when I kind of alluded to me and my wife, we be speaking to it, I think that's what it'd be like when we tell each other certain things and we communicate with each other. It's like these are truths that are being placed out there. So it's like when things do happen, I can hold you accountable for what you said if your actions or your behavior ain't matching that.
Man, listen, you can guilt me into doing the shit. That's what you can do. But at the end of the day, I still got to do it. And if I don't do it, what you gonna do about it besides say something? I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I heard what you said, but it's still no. You are holding yourself accountable for the actions. Somebody just had to remind you and reiterate and and you finally was like, you know what, I'm finna go do this shit. But in actuality, if I didn't want to or wasn't gonna do it, I ain't gonna do the shit. And guess what? You can't hold me accountable. That's what I'm trying to say with the words too. I could be wrong on this, but I thought about this shit because I used to use that word accountable all the time, and I started thinking about it. But you really can't do shit if they don't want to do it. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna hit them?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm thinking about my wife, and I know that if she ain't feeling it, or if she don't want to do it, or if she don't understand why she need to do it, it ain't gonna get done. No matter how much I try to say or talk or hold her accountable, so-called, because she said she was going to do the shit. Nah, she don't want to do the shit. She ain't going to do the shit. Oh, okay, cool, don't do it. I'm going to do it. Or it won't get done, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? That's when I had to realize, like, I got to relinquish that. Because at the end of the day, you said it, you going to do it. If you ain't, whatever, it still got to get done some kind of way. So I guess I got to do it, or it just won't get done. That's just how it's going to be,
Right. Well, let me ask you this, though. I mean, no. Let me ask you this, though, because it's all really just ethics at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about this energy that exists, this unseen, this intangible thing that we all know exists within every relationship, regardless of what kind of relationship it is, what the dynamics are. In that type of a relationship, in that marital relationship, we'll just say, because we both married, when that is happening, and although the other person, be it you or your wife or me or my wife, whoever it is that's not doing the thing that they said they were going to do or whatever, wouldn't you say that it's something to say about the energy that it ultimately builds moving forward if that becomes a consistent pattern of behavior?
Yeah, I would. I definitely would.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like that's what I kind of be thinking about. Which, if we talking about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, that's what she would be kind of getting at from a psychiatry perspective. Is like, okay, by consistently doing that shit, that's going to contribute to a certain type of behavior and a certain type of, vibe within this relationship that's probably not going to be healthy. Because the other person need to kind of like know and feel like if they say something that you would actually do it, even if you don't agree with the shit, because you just understand that this is what's best. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's all ethics, but you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I be thinking, like, on the low.
No, I do. I get that. I get that. I'm being attacked by a goddamn bug right now. And also, I got a random question for you. Do I sound different? Like, I know we've been talking for a while. Do I sound different?
I
sound about the same?
I can't say that I noticed anything. Yeah, I can't say that I noticed anything differently. Not really.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, because oh yeah, something major, major. And if it don't sound really any different, I hope it doesn't transfer like through to the recording. So okay, that's cool. As long as I sound good, that's what matters. Just getting that sound check. Did you have your notes with you? I don't know if you in your little smoking area or not. You got your stuff?
Well, I did go get my book, and I did highlight a few items. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That stuck out. That's
okay.
usually
Cool.
what I kind of go on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Chapter 4, Learning to Look at Symbols, February 1979. Way before my time. Page 53. Go ahead, bro. I'll let you cannonball in. Like I like how you set the table.
Okay. So grab your knife and your fork and spoon. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start down here at the third paragraph. It says counter racist. Psychiatry defines mental health as patterns of logic, thought, speech, action, emotional response, and perception consciously practiced by the victims of white supremacy racism with the objective of eradicating racism at the global level. Here's what I wanted to say about that. All right, so I've heard more and more, especially now recently, I heard more and more about mental health, and, how mental health doesn't get talked about in the black community, and, mental health, and, hey, it's cool, and now, Charlemagne the God is talking about it, and now more people are kind of talking about it, but not before I read this right here did I hear someone actually link mental health to our people in terms of it actually being mentally our defense against the white supremacy and racism system. You know what I'm saying? So now when I heard it from that perspective, it now makes sense for mental health to be a thing and for something to be talked about and for something to be, advocated for. It's not just like this mythical thing anymore to me. Like now mental health, kind of like she brought it all full circle for me when it's like basically it's, because we're in this system as black people and mentally you need to actually like seek help and guidance up out of that shit mentally, you know what I'm saying? So now that's why we need to talk about mental health, and that's why mental health is important, and that's probably why it's been taboo for so long, but that's what we need to be thinking about. So that's what I got from that.
Yeah, I think that we need to take our mental health serious. But I don't know. I've heard Neely Fuller Jr. say that black people under the system of racism, white supremacy, we don't qualify for mental health. Now, I want to make sure I put him in context when he said that, but I definitely heard him, on a radio show saying that before, and it just made me think, like, I don't know, because yes, self-care, yes, mental health, yes, seek help, but understand that you are seeking help within a system that's set up against you. Like I don't know. I don't want to say too much on that, but just the mental health system, it's not really set up to benefit black people is pretty much what I'm saying. Behavioral health, with psychiatry, therapist, What else? You got psychologists, you got psychiatrists. Those are the people who do the prescriptions and stuff. So I don't know. It's just it can help. It can, but I can see why Black people are hesitant to go see somebody or talk to people when it comes to mental health, just simply because of the history. When it comes to how we have been treated, by those people that we would have to go seek help from. Let me say it that way. I'll leave it at that.
I just never, every time I've heard about mental health, if I've heard it mentioned on TV or if I've heard anybody talking about it, I've just never heard it put in that context, though, where it's like for Black people, mental health is specifically that was down to like a definition that she kind of went through. You know what I'm saying? Like mental health is like us as Black people within this white supremacy racism system, like within this system and the things we having to deal with mentally. That's what mental health is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just never really thought about it from that perspective. So even going back to your idea, like you were saying, like smoking with your therapist, like, right? So now my question would be, so what if, do you believe, I don't even know what to ask, but what I'm trying to get your thoughts on is, do you think that, Black people, or are there any people that could provide counsel? Or let me start with this. Do you believe that needs to be addressed and that we as Black people need to be talking to someone about our mental state of being based on the system that we've been submerged in?
Yes.
Okay.
But preferably someone who looks like you. And even but also being conscious and aware that just because they look like you doesn't mean that they are for you or have your best interest at heart. It's more of your chances probably are going to be greatened or heightened if you can find someone who looks like you, Because,
right.
Think about this. If you are going to your therapist or your whatever, and you're talking about racism, white supremacy, but they white, how much can they really truly help you? I don't know. Maybe a lot, because they know more about the system than we do, but I wouldn't trust them to be truthful or honest with me, all the way,
Right.
Still got to keep your benefits. You ain't gonna give your benefits up, so you got to keep that system going. So
right.
I don't know.
I agree. I definitely agree, but I think that definitely needs to be something that's in place, because I think, and this is just my personal opinion, in the Black community, the mental health is a foreign thing. It's something that's taboo, and it's something that many of us we just live life, and we are just totally oblivious to what's really going on. So we don't even know we need to even be thinking about talking to somebody about anything. We just living life. So I think that's just an interesting concept. You know what I'm saying? Because I found myself kind of indirectly and directly reaching out for different mentorships in different capacities, just to try to grow and get insight, and you know what I'm saying. So I've been kind of doing that, but hearing that makes me want to be even more intentional about talking to certain people about specific things, you know what I'm saying, specifically like mental things, like the approach. I've always been fascinated with, behavior and mentality and all of that type of shit. I've always been fascinated by that. So I think I'm going on a limb by saying that shit, as Black men, we need to do that, even if it's just like what we're doing, just staying in communion with each other and just talking and trying to build each other up and, trying to grow with each other and that type of thing. I think that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice, healthy mental exercise.
Yeah. Fight isolation, and I ain't saying isolated in the sense of you're just ain't around people, but You ain't around like-minded people, so you feel isolated. You can't talk, you can't express yourself how you truly want to because they ain't gonna understand. They can't even grasp these concepts right now. I'm not talking down on nobody. It's just honesty. It's observations. Like when you got somebody who you can talk to and they understand what you're talking about, they see this stuff, they experience this stuff. It's I don't know. It's refreshing. It feels good. It feels good. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
No
make sure. I want to make sure that I jump in on 53 because you read the little part that I had already bracketed, so that's interesting. And from what you read, did you read the whole thing, or you only read like just that first sentence? Counter-racist psychiatry defines mental health.
I read from there, and I stopped down there at global level.
Functionally speaking, for the victims of white supremacy, this means to act in a self-group respecting and supporting manner in all areas of people activity, despite the specific conditions of racist domination and oppression. Submission to and cooperation with victimization and oppression are signs of individual or group mental illness or self-negation. So from what you had read and my little contribution, I got from that, like, it's identifying the problem and then willing to participate in incorrect behavior. Like, some things are out of our control, but some things, like, we can self-regulate, I don't want to belabor the point, but, that was my little, takeaway from that. But she then backs it up again, like she says something on 54, this reorganization will result in self-group respect and support and thereby end their oppression. Kind of when you were talking about the counter-racist psychiatry defines mental health as patterns of logic, thought, speech, action, emotional response, and perception consciously practiced by the victims of white supremacy racism with the objective of eradicating racism at the global level. So yeah, I like that. I like that right there.
No, that's good. That's good stuff. That's real.
You jump past something though. The first sentence of this chapter, for the very first sentence, it reeled me in. Like it was somewhat vague, but also intriguing. And I'm talking about the quilt analogy. I felt like that was on point. I identified with that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or
Yep, for sure. So when I'm going through my stuff, I just kind of start with whatever I had highlighted. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't highlighting, but I definitely understood that. So I think it would be dope. Go ahead and read it. I think it was definitely a straight little analogy.
A culture can be likened to a quilt of intricate geometrical design in which all of the many colored pieces, their shapes and stitching flow into one another, constitute the whole. This analogy is apt for yet a second reason. Often the design on the upper side of the quilt is different from the undersurface pattern. Still, the undersurface design is essential for the outward surface appearance. Like, so many things, so many symbols are that way. Like,
right.
Like some of the most simple symbols that you see every day that you don't even think about. It's just like it's a mundane symbol. It's there. Like, you see it all the time. You don't even think about it. But that symbol has so many different meanings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the outer layer. You see that, but what's under the surface of that symbol? That stood out to me. That stood out to me.
No, that was good. That actually it had me thinking about something that I had highlighted. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay. So you finna advance. Okay, so find what you're looking for, but before we go too far, I think this chapter is about decoding systems, like by learning to identify symbols. Some like, decoding the matrix, but like 1979 style, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I got from this, Like going in, I felt like this is finna be that. So, but go ahead. Tell me what you was tell me what you got.
So even just to add on to what you just said right here on page 54, she says this reorganization will result. I'm sorry. The second paragraph. It says the process of decoding a power system and its culture is a necessary first step to achieve behavioral mastery over the system and culture, which leads me to that basically kind of piggybacks off of what you said, but which leads me to this question. Why is it important, to achieve behavioral mastery over the system and culture? Behavioral mastery is what she used, because that kind of mastery in education is like a thing I'm very familiar with. So to hear behavioral mastery, like I understand where she's going with that.
Okay, there we go. Develop a code so that way when things are thrown at you, like watch this, you've already identified that you are in a system of racism, white supremacy. That means that war is being waged upon you, like if you are a black person and by white people. Like, so equip yourself. Think about this. If I'm thrown something like just at me and, I'm going to just react. But if I expect certain things to be thrown at me, I don't know what it is, but I do expect something to be thrown at me, I can kind of gauge my behavior, to have a favorable outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what she's saying in the sense of, you need to master these emotions or master your behavior. What you think of that before I proceed? What do you think of that?
No, I think that's good. You know what I'm saying? I just had never heard that term because, again, I'm in education, so I hear mastery all the time. You typically hear mastery, in reference to, like, mastering a certain section or a certain skill or a concept, you know what I'm saying? But I just had never heard of it from a standpoint of mastering your behavior within a system, which I understand. I get it, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely agree with you 1,000% on that. Because I think that's important because she mentions that it's the first essential step in that process. So I think she's spot on because, like you said, once you now understand how to behave within the system, now you can better plan and move forward and know how to more strategically move.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, walk light out there, playboy. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Unc. I got this because, I'm equipped. But I appreciate you, straight up, for looking out for me. So, no, man. But when I hear mastery and when she broke it down, I don't know why, hey, me and my side stories when I'm reading, my mind went to, like Bruce Lee. Like I watched some of the old Bruce Lee clips of him talking and his workouts and even just some of his bouts, his matches and stuff. And so, mastering your craft and I don't know, just being a man of many kind of masteries in a sense. Like I don't know. That's where my mind went when I read that. I was like, yeah. My boy, because he got some pretty good little affirmations and stuff, So I don't know if you know. Do you know about Bruce like that or?
No, I know who he is for sure, but in terms of kind of knowing some of his references, lines and stuff, not too much.
Yeah, man, he got some good philosophy. I think he's pretty cool. So that's where my mind went with that. it was interesting that you picked that section on 54 because I got that whole paragraph bracketed off, but you already you touched on that, so I ain't gonna really kill it too tough. But my question for page 54, second paragraph, people activity. Let's break this down. Like, we've been talking about this in this book. It's been referenced many times. We've regurgitated it, but what is people activity? These brain products appear and are reflected in all areas of people activities, economics, education, entertainment, including games and sports, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. This means analysis of products of conscious as well as unconscious brain activity, patterns of logic, thought, speech, action, emotional response, perception, dreams, symbols, and intuition will be required. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I did want to break down this people activity. So from your understanding, when you're reading this, what comes to mind when we're talking about the people activity?
The first thing is just basically that encompasses everything that you ever knew. It's everything. I think it pretty much, if you think about just, if you can close your eyes and just the first thing you think of, you just say it, it'll fit into one of those categories. To some degree, you could fit into one of those categories. So I think that's what I think about, just first and foremost, that it actually, and she basically alluding to, man, this shit done infiltrated everything that you ever knew and gonna know. It's everywhere. So you need to damn near be analyzing everything. Everything. Right. You got to analyze. Right. Nothing can't go by through the filter. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I've been seeing it. Cause like, boy, like as it's trickling down to my baby, and I'm like, as I'm really like trying to open my eyes, like, shit, yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Right.
They out to get the soul, but they want it back.
Right. So I agree with everything you just said, bro. Now, I got a few questions then. So do you think that black people are being dominated in all of those categories, people activity, and being dominated in specifically by like white people? Do you think that that's going on, or no?
Yes, I do. You know what I'm saying? Because even as I look across, like we look at entertainment, like games and sports, it's like, okay, when you ask the average black person who's dominating, they will say us, because they'll think about just the outward appearance of it in terms of us just being dominant on the sports fields and on the courts and that type of stuff. But we know that the ownership and what the true money is and the value is like, no, we don't even come close to, like, you know what I'm saying, dominating that shit. Because somebody just mentioned this the other day. I forgot where I heard it at, but it was like, okay, like even in professional sports, like you got these athletes and people think they're making all this money, which, yeah, it is a lot of money, but the owners never have to disclose like what they make. They don't never have to disclose that. You know what I'm saying? What they're making. So if they just kind of painted the picture and kind of threw the question out there, well, if they can afford to pay the players this and we think it's that, imagine what they get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, we ain't winning in none of these areas.
Yeah. Well, shit, you went there. Let's segue a little bit. So, you know how, like, when things happen in what they call, I'm only using terms that I hear on TV or in social circles. I try not to use these terms because it's not true in my opinion, but the black community. When things happen in the black community, like someone being shot by the police, or just something where money needs to be raised, or someone needs to stand up and say something, come out to the forefront and do something, I hear a lot of pressure being put on black athletes and entertainers to like make sure that they put the money up and do something for the black community, right? And I'm like, okay, I get that, you know, because maybe like you just said, that's the face. That's what you see. You know, like those are the people that you see, so you feel like, oh, they're dominating the industry, and all of their salaries are discussed publicly and debated. Like, could you imagine your salary, my salary, being debated like on national forums and being like reports being written up on your stuff in the newspaper and just people talking about all your money? Like, could honestly, could you imagine that? And I know people like, well, you're athletes, so you signed up for that and all this stuff. Okay, I get that. But, yo, that's just on a whole other level when you really kind of break it down about people's finances and how secretive they are about their finances. And these people making millions, and their stuff is being just displayed everywhere. But neither here nor there. I digress. What I'm trying to get at is that, fuck that. Who the fuck giving them a check? All these goddamn owners, all of these fucking owners, man, like those are the people who you should be applying pressure on when you got the NBA being shut down because of this virus, and then these players are paying other players money and compensating for what they're not getting for the league, and that's a great thing. I'm not poo-pooing on that. That's a really great thing. But two things can be true at the same fucking time. These goddamn owners should be the ones supplementing these players' income while this stuff is going on. And I say that only because if you own a fucking basketball team, you own multiple things. And guess what? More than likely, the basketball team is not what makes you most of your money. Meaning that you supplementing their income is a drop in the fucking bucket for you. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Most of the owners, they got rich doing other things, and in their spare time thought, hey, it would be cool to buy a professional team.
Thank you. And we're allowed to do so.
Right.
Because me and you could have that same Jack right now, want to go in there, buy a football team, buy a basketball team. Bitch, they got to allow us to do so. It ain't just because you got the money. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, that's real now.
How many black owners are there? Any. Name me one black owner in football. 32 teams. Name me one owner. Y'all always talking about coaches, Rooney rule, whatever. Bitch, name me an owner. Give me one. Okay, my bad. That's what I'm talking about. Give me real power. Don't give me these symbolic gestures that she's talking about in this chapter that you got to be noticing. Identify the fucking symbolic shit. No, give me tangible. Give me real. Okay.
Straight up, just like my boy Shannon Sharp say. They think I'm gonna get my eyes off of it, but I'm got my eyes on the ball. I ain't moving off of it. I see the ball. The smoke screen and all the other stuff, it ain't gonna get me. I'm watching the ball. You got to keep your eyes on the ball. Straight up. Eyes on the ball.
You know what I realized? Fraud and them been getting a lot of shout outs. Been getting a lot, like consistently in each chapter. Fraud and them got like Sig, whatever we want to call him. He getting shout outs. He on page 56 once again. Once again. Trying to get there. Give me a second. Walk with me to 56.
Right, I see him on there, man. I feel like she alludes to some of these people. She really just, because I think she understands, and this is just my opinion on this, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like as a female, she understands what she's up against as she's putting out work, you know what I'm saying? So she definitely giving you straight gems all over the place, and she's definitely, like, humbly, like, shitting on everybody. but she's also like covering her tracks as well, and she's paying homage and she's giving respect to some of the people who everybody else in the world. So as people are gonna try to like would you say try to debate her work, you know what I'm saying? She's showing that she's very well, you know, researched and, you know what I'm saying, educated from that standpoint. So like she's kind of somewhat slapping everybody in their mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like white people like know everything y'all know, and this why it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's putting it out there, you know, because this is what I know y'all are going to be thinking, you know, who was really doing it, but this and this and that and the other. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm gathering.
Yeah. So quick question, because I don't know. Sigmund Freud, is he black or is he white? I don't know who he is.
I don't know. I don't know what he looked like. I'm pretty sure he's white because he's like he's one of the primary people that, you know, has been we'll just say shoved down our throats as like the guy. When it comes to psychology, he's the guy.
Okay, well let's go under the assumption that he is white. All right. I feel like she has to. Okay. This is not right. She shouldn't have to do this, but she has to do this. Throw in these people and cite them and to build credibility for authentic, or like making her work like authentic in a sense.
Right.
Like, so, you know, to be compared with the philosophers and, you know, theologians and all that shit. You know, you have to do that. And then watch this. I could say something to my people, very constructive. You know what I'm saying? And it might fall on deaf ears, but a white man come and say the same exact thing, and they praise him for it. So I only say that to say that sometime the message coming from someone else, it builds the credibility, but also the message is conveyed, I guess, differently and received like received well, you know, compared to, you know, me. I said the same damn thing, but what do I know, nigga? Nigga don't know shit. Man, you just smoke weed all day, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. And I'm like, okay, my bad.
Right.
You know, so
right.
I think that's at play a little bit.
No, I agree. Plus, I'm gonna throw this out there too. Plus, remember, these are essays, so you know, I'm very familiar with, you know, you've been to college as well. You know what I'm saying, doing papers and conducting research and stuff. So from that standpoint, you almost kind of gotta have those quote unquote credible sources within your work anyway too. Just to, again, like you alluded to, just to have that credibility, you know, when you publishing, you putting your stuff out there and you getting that national notoriety, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure a lot of her works have been published in certain, you know what I'm saying, certain like actual, like what they call peer-reviewed journals and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of something to kind of keep in mind too. These are like essays.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bring it back to focus. Okay.
Right. But let's be clear. She doing her motherfucking thing with it. You know what I'm saying? She doing her motherfucking thing.
I agree, man. I really do. I'm really appreciating her work. I'm really appreciating her work. You know, it's shit is helping me expand my fucking vocabulary. I'll tell you that. I had a word in this. I usually have many words, but this time I'm like, you know what? We need a word of the session, you know, like a book session, because a lot of these words, I don't know. I have to look them up, and you said the same thing. So I don't know if you take the time to actually look them up, but I'm finna look up a word right now. Let's see. The word is paradoxical. Do you know what that means?
Okay.
Paradoxical. It's on page 57, I think. I think it's on page 57. But I'm finna just give me 1 second. Did you remember that word when it came up? Now that I said it, or not really?
Yeah. Now that you said it, I do remember reading it. I remember reading that word.
Paradoxical.
Because anytime I read a word and I don't know the meaning of it, it'll immediately stick out. Like, I don't know the meaning of that word.
All right, let's see if I'm saying it right. Paradoxical. Oh, damn, it ain't playing it. I want to see if it's going to play it. All right, let's try this one more time. I want to know if I'm saying this shit right. You know, nigga from the South, West Side. Okay. Paradoxical. Ooh, that boy fire. Okay. It's an adjective, seemingly absurd or self-contradictory. By glorifying the acts of violence, they achieve the paradoxical effect of making them trivial. Similar to contradictory. Okay. So now I got to put it in context. Yeah, there we go. Appreciate you, bro.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So right here at the bottom, last paragraph on page 56, it says, also, it has been said that symbols are always paradoxical, since they contain elements that do not exist in logic. So
contradictory.
What I'm gathering from that is, Yeah.
Contradictory.
So the symbol is not what you think it is. It's something totally different. It's paradoxical.
Yeah. Double meanings, triple meanings. You know, try to understand what you're looking at. Research that shit. You know, most of this stuff is not by chance either when it comes to these symbols. It's like it's all intentional. All intentional.
Yep. So what you think about this right here? You talking about symbols? Were you off that point you was making right there?
Yeah, it's fine.
Along with what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, all right. So we're talking about symbolism. So on page 57, at the bottom of that first paragraph, it says symbolism, and she's quoting Brown, Norman Brown here. She's quoting from In Love.
Norman O. That's what I call him, Norman O.
Right, Norman O. You know what I'm saying? All right. It says symbolism is between conscious and unconscious. So my thing is, I thought that was kind of interesting. I highlighted that because I just wanted to get your thoughts on, okay, we're talking about symbolism. We just explained that it was paradoxical, meaning essentially it doesn't mean what you think it is and all of that. So as we start to talk about this process of decoding the symbols and understanding the symbols and understanding what symbolism is and all of that, and considering what your boy Norman O stressing here, that symbolism is between conscious and unconscious, like what do you get from that specifically as it relates to, as we try to decode these symbols, what do you get from that symbolism being between conscious and unconscious?
Man, bro, a lifelong time of being programmed. So I'm still learning, like every day I'm still learning, confused, very confused, but I'm still learning. All right, now with that being said, even though I'm able to identify certain symbols, there are still things that are embedded in my subconscious to where I still do things to support the system of racism, white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not practicing it. I'm a victim in it. But at the same time, I'm doing things that if I really examined it, it's like, bro, why you doing that? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. That's incorrect behavior, So that's my subconscious, It could be willing at sometimes too, though. I don't know. I'm not finna sit here and just blame it all on subconscious because, you do have control of your actions, to a certain degree. So that's what I kind of got from that. Like, where it's like, you have this conscious of where it's like, identify these symbols, identify what's going on, identify your surroundings. But even within that, there's a underlying that like that quilt, that sub side, that other side, that if you don't really understand that, man, you finna get caught up because, you you ain't even see it coming. You know?
Right. No, that's good stuff, man. Just always having to be awake and aware and just on point. Just on point, man. You might have to go back to that Andre 3000. I'm always liking to that famous Andre 3000 line, no drugs or alcohol so I can get the signal clear as day. You know, I always think about that line, you know what I'm saying? I always think about that line, you know, I be burning, you know. I be thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? I really do.
Well, I mean, if you know, all honesty, like, I feel better when I'm not smoking. Like, my body feel better, everything feel better. I process differently, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit be different, you know. And then watch this, I'll take a long break, and then, you know, that first, like, maybe 2-3 days, trying to smoke again, it's like, this shit ain't here, I don't know. But then, you know, you be right back at it, like ain't nothing happened.
Debo Lee,
so,
you be talking again.
Right. So, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's some truth in it. So that's why I said that. It's definitely some truth in that line.
Right. Okay. That's real, man.
Well, did you have anything else?
Let me see. That was page 57. Okay. Now, we did have another diagram. I didn't, like, highlight anything off the diagram, but you did mention the brain computer. So maybe I'll just kind of throw you an alley here, and hopefully you can catch it and dunk us home just from a standpoint of talking about that brain computer, because you seem to be fascinated about it. So on page 58, it says diagram 1 illustrates the process by which the brain computer uses sensory data received from the surrounding environment to form symbols and other brain-computer products. So, looking at, and this was a little more easier to kind of understand, this particular chart here, this diagram. So the brain-computer, and again, chime in, Doug, if you will. I'm assuming it's like our brain, our person, our soul, our, you know, how we're processing everything. So everything that's kind of happening around us, as she alludes to here, received from the surrounding environment. So all the things that this system has put in place, and we alluded to that earlier too, just in all those areas of people activity, as we're, you know, intaking all of this stuff from the environment, it's forming the symbols and the other brain-computer products, which is ultimately driving the behavior and what we're doing, subconsciously and consciously. Because like you just said, I know I'm in the system, but I'm still, like, doing stuff that I know I probably shouldn't even really be doing. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on the brain computer and kind of like how we should be kind of thinking about that or processing that as we trying to, like, decode these symbols and like Nip say, wiggle out the matrix?
Well, the brain computer is something that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing referred to often. And yeah, I think you kind of broke it down. You got it. You got it. So, but I'm looking at this chart. Total environment, physical, social, political, and cultural. So, do you think, like, symbols affect you physically?
Yeah, because I think anything that's affecting your behavior is going to affect you physically, because it's actually going to literally determine the stuff that you actually do and pick up and touch with your hands, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and affect your health, even down to stuff that you eat and all that type of stuff.
Right, I agree with that. Now, I don't know what she really means when she says social political, but social life and a political life, I would definitely say symbols affect that. I don't know if do you agree with that?
No, I do. I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
Because based on the chart, the way it's looking like it's flowing, you know what I'm saying, it's looking like she's essentially arguing that the entire environment, she didn't put the areas of people activity, but I'm just kind of lumping that in the total environment. You know what I'm saying? That goes into the brain computer, and then out comes, you know, those subconscious things that we have and everything that essentially is affecting us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's just a cycle.
So I was slow walking you because I was finna try to get to the cultural and then kind of go slide to that, because the total environment, she broke it down with physical, social, political, and cultural. I know I read that already, but I was just trying to get to a point of, I think that captures pretty much everything without putting the people activity. Now that goes into the brain computer. Now these symbols come out, but I love, like, right after symbols, what did she put? Logic, not feelings, not emotion, logic. And the only reason I say that is because there is a emotional response. That's natural. Everyone has that. But before that, foremost, follow the logic. Come to your own conclusions. Develop your own code. Follow the logic. So you have these symbols coming from the total environment, going into your brain computer. Your output from that computer are these symbols. Follow the logic. Try to decipher. Try to understand what you actually are, like, you know, taking in, you know, and that will affect your thought, your speech, your action, your emotional response, your perception, even your dreams, nigga, even your dreams. So, yeah, and then, okay, feedback. So it's just like a recycle. I think it's a rinse and repeat. You know what I'm saying? We you know, if you see the arrow with the feedback, we right back, you know, to the top. So that's what I got from the chart. But I was definitely fascinated with the brain computer. I think that if I was to name this chapter, that's what I would have named it, the brain computer, like straight up, because, you know, it's about identifying the problem, you know, but also, you know, controlling, you know, like your actions, if you can, you know, self-regulate in a sense, you know, because you are able to identify the symbols. You are identifying, like, what actually, you know, is your input. It's coming in, you're processing it. Your output should be something that's logical, something that's constructive. That's what I'm getting from this.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. I wanna just quickly, if I may, I don't want to kind of like, I kind of feel like at least this is something I kind of just like hit me, but I just want to kind of mention about the diagram. So on the feedback part of it, right? Think about this real quick. So the feedback, let me back up for a second. So this entire diagram, in my opinion, based on how she put this together, white people have this is a blueprint that white people have come up with. So I'm picturing them sitting at the feedback side of this, looking at, they've created the total environment, right, which has gone into our collective brain computers. They're sitting back getting the feedback from all the things that they see that has resulted from the environment that they have produced that went into our brain computer. And now, based on that feedback, they're now pouring that back into the environment. So the environment is changing to a certain extent, but that environment is always changing to try to essentially inject some bullshit into our brain computers. And they're just consistently getting the feedback to see what can they continue to tweak to, like, continue to keep us fucked up. What you think about that?
Sad but true. Sad but true.
Sad but fucking true. Dang.
Sad but true.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight again. I'm not fighting against that. That's the truth. Like, straight up. But so my thing is, if you identify that, so what? any solutions?
I mean, right off the top of my head, you know what I'm saying, I think the main thing is, like she mentioned, she gave us a little insight just going back here on page 54. The process of decoding the power system and its culture is a necessary first step to achieve behavioral mastery over that system of culture. So I think just understanding that that's the way the shit is set up, you know what I'm saying? I think if you understand that little concept right there, I think that then should awaken this idea in you to now start to analyze and examine the environment. You know what I'm saying? To kind of see. Right. I think that's the thing that we should get out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing we can do. We have to start to just, instead of just like, you know, just playing our music loud and just, you know, doing all the wild and crazy stuff and hanging out and just, you know, like we need to actually just know, just like slow down and examine like the entire, or what she calls the total environment, every aspect of it, because we have to be conscious of what's going into that brain computer, because whether we know it or not, consciously or subconsciously, is something's coming out of that brain computer, and it's coming out in dreams and perceptions and all the things she listed, our logic and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times black people, we go against the damn common logic. We go against basic logic a lot of times with basic stuff. It's like the shit that y'all believe or that we believe, it don't even actually make sense. But you just believe it because somebody told you that. That's it. So I think we got to just start to examine and analyze the total environment so we can actually know and filter what's going into the brain computer, because also looking at this diagram, it's like once whatever goes into the brain computer goes in, we down there don't have no control over what comes out after that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's subconscious shit. Like with dreams, you can't control your dreams really. You know what I'm saying? You can't really. You can control your emotions, but not really. Not really. You know what I'm saying? When people doing certain shit and certain things happen, you can't really control that. You can after a while, but initially, nah. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Stuff that you thinking, you can't really control that. Shit just be popping in your head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in my opinion, I don't know what you think about this, but I feel like that part is crucial. Like before whatever comes into the brain computer, that's what needs to be analyzed, you know what I'm saying? Because once it goes in, it's like, well, you ain't really got little or no control over what comes out.
True. But you said something that was key in that, like understanding the environment. Like that gotta be
right.
before there's any input. Like understand before it goes in, this is what it is. Like not identifying exactly what that is going in, but it's like you are in a system of white supremacy, racism. So understand that, be equipped, be ready for whatever this input is coming in, so that way you can try to decode that shit and move accordingly. You know, that's my thing. Like, so you kind of gave an example. I love the tangibles. So let's give an example of maybe understanding the environment. So I feel like I think that black people, us, we are like pitted against each other, meaning that like we love negativity. We may say we don't, but I think we do. Anything like that usually happens to a black person in some type of form of notoriety, and it's negative, I feel like we can't wait to like tear them down in a sense in public, like on public forums and stuff. I think that's something that we've mastered. We do it great. We got the best jokes, you know what I'm saying? Everything. We best memes, all that, but we do that to our people. And if you understand the environment, you understand the system that you are in, I don't think you would be so like quick to do something like that. I would say, try to develop some type of code of where, like, even if we are to do that, we circulate that amongst ourselves, or we talk about that in closed quarters. But in public, we present ourselves as a united front, and like we not tearing our people down in public. You know, everybody make mistakes, or even if he dead ass wrong, okay, I agree, he dead ass wrong. I don't have to tear him down in public for that though. VGQ, that man said what he said. I don't agree with what he said. I ain't got to voice that in public. Meaning, me and you talking, we chopping it up. Yeah, we talk about that shit. That's cool. You know, we work that out. But in public, nah, man, nah. I don't know about nothing you talking about right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Practice being patient with other black people, being patient with yourself, because you still learning. You're not understanding everything right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are examples of understanding your environment and, you know, trying to use some logic in the situation. Like, you could react, you could have an emotional response, you know, but hopefully you understand your environment so you can control your actions. You know, I ain't trying to ramble. I'll leave it alone.
No. I think that was good. That was definitely good. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. One big thing that I'll take away from this is something actually I've been focusing a lot more on lately anyway, even prior to me even doing this, is the subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? Just because I just be fascinated with how, you know, just us as humans, how we just do stuff and we don't even really be thinking about it. We just do it. You know what I'm saying? So that always kind of fascinated me, man. So I think that's one of the things that she's kind of getting at too with the whole symbols and stuff, is like, you know, you got to kind of be aware of it, especially like, you know, that's one of the things as I think about my daughters, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that they put in cartoons and, you know, the stuff that's on YouTube, and just all the stuff that's around with us too, but more so with them kids as well, because they want to try to get them as early as they possibly can, you know what I'm saying? It's just being mindful of that, the subconscious effects or ramifications that those symbols can have. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, bro. But you can't really hide them from it. You can't shield them from it. You know, like you just gotta talk to them and equip them, and you know, and also when they start asking questions, you know, like be ready. That's my thing. Fill yourself up with knowledge so that way you just will be like that well that they could just drink from, you know?
Right. That's real. And I'm excited about being on that quest, you know what I'm saying, because I actually, my wife got me for Father's Day that Powernomics gift set, nigga, from Dr. Claude Anderson. That's on the way.
Oh. She bought you books.
On the way. Bought me books. I got that Dr. Claude Anderson on the way. Got a few of his pieces.
Oh man, see, I already fooled with her, but she just got like major cool points like for that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I had been talking a lot about Dr. Claude, and me and her sitting and listening to him talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? She caught the nigga that.
That nigga talk that cash, man. He talked some good shit though, for real.
Oh yeah.
I like how he talk. I like to hear him in his interviews, man. He go off. Go off.
Yeah, he goes exactly. He's going off every time.
But he know his shit though. So like, I'm telling you, man, listen. When you know your stuff, like you could be confident like that. You could just talk. And I mean, you know, I ain't saying what he's saying is like is the gospel, but I feel like it's backed up factually. You know, and shit. Read his books. You know, it's well researched, well written. So yeah, hey, enjoy. Heim, you know what I'm saying? That's real nice. She did you nice.
Yeah, hell man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Trying to get a little information, man. Get a little information.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, you know, we gotta, you know, belabor it. So, did you have anything else?
Just a quick side note. I bought me another MacBook today on the low.
Oh, this nigga fire, man. Oh shit. Okay.
So my hand got forced. I'm gonna throw that out there. My hand got forced because I got
that sounds convenient. But go ahead, let me hear it.
I'm just saying. Okay, so I got a 2008. right? And so I cannot run the latest operating system on this computer. Like, there's been several things I've tried to update and use and stuff that I'm still doing, and I'm kind of getting hindered because it literally won't let me update that. That's the first thing. Secondly, the battery that's on here, it done totally kind of gave out on me. I knew the battery was down, you know what I'm saying, because it would never hold no charge. And then now it's just, like, after a while, after it go dead, it'll take a little while to charge and it'll just turn on, but now it's not even turning on. So I ordered a battery to replace it because the battery is pretty cheap on Amazon. I found one. So when the battery come, I'm going to replace it and then just to see if that'll work. But in the meantime, you know what I'm saying, I got other stuff that I need to be doing and working on. So I'm like, fuck it. So what I did was I just did my research, and the oldest computer that you can get is a 2014 that'll run the latest operating system. So I actually found a good deal on a 2015. So I didn't get nothing brand new, you know what I'm saying? And I actually got the MacBook Air. I didn't get a Pro this time. The Airs are a little bit cheaper, you know what I'm saying, because I'm just kind of getting like a somewhat of a temporary buy. I'm going to get me a brand new one at some point. But based on the fact that I can run the latest operating system on it, I can do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I got a 13-inch, too, because the MacBook Airs don't come in the big boy sizes. So that's fine. So I got bang for buck because I ain't have a whole lot of money to spend, but, you know what I'm saying, I got it for around like $500, so it wasn't bad at all. Warranty, you know what I'm saying, other little shit like that. So I think it was a straight little deal.
Bro, yeah, okay, boom. You know, boy, you said a lot, boy. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that 2014 Mac. Okay, all right, bet. How many USB ports are on your Air?
I think it's just two. It's just two.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Do you have any other ports, any other type of ports on there besides just the USB?
Yeah, there are some. I can't call it. I ain't looking at the specs right now. I was looking at them a lot earlier. There are some other ones on there.
Anything that you could hook your interface up to, or your interface is USB?
Yeah, it's USB.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So I too have a Mac 2008, and I do understand your plight. I get that. So I have already purchased a battery. I can give you some advice on all this. That's pretty good. It's a Band-Aid, so it's gonna get you through maybe. Because you use your shit, you know what I'm saying? It's going to get you probably maybe another year. Then that bitch going to start doing the same thing it's doing right now with your battery. Because mine doing that again right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a Band-Aid. It's going to get you straight. But, yeah, more than likely, yeah, you're going to have to get you just a nice solid Mac to probably do your music and stuff or whatever.
Right, and that's why I was like, it just would behoove me. I just launched my website and all that. Like, I don't need to be bullshit. I need to go ahead and have me something I can turn on, no problem, and I can go ahead and do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I was looking on Cress today like a bit, had done reached out to a few people. I was ready to, you know what I'm saying, chomp on whatever I could find out there today. But everybody was bullshitting. So I found this website where I was able to go and get one, like I said, with warranty and a couple other little perks. Perks only wasn't too bad. Just try that out to see how that works.
Got it. Well, let's finish up this text, man. Right. Go ahead. No, keep going. I was gonna just try to segue, but keep going.
No, I was finna say if that battery working, it's turning on my down to just strip all my stuff off of this bit and just start planning not to even use this bit. Figure out what I can do with it.
Oh yeah. Once that happened to me the first time, I had just went and bought me like a terabyte, it was like a 2 terabyte. I just took everything off that bitch. Now I still use it because it still works, but if it crashed tomorrow, okay, cool, I'm straight. I got everything I need.
Right. Okay. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking right on that. I'm going
man.
Get right on it.
I heard you talk about the Amazon.
All my music off of them. Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, look on there for some hard drives, but I'm telling you, them shits be cheap. Like you can find some cheap ones on there.
Amazon, they got a fucking monopoly on every goddamn thing. Seemingly.
Yeah, I agree. Cause this stuff right now, I still can't find in the store, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm Amazon. Okay, y'all force my hand. I'm going to Amazon.
Yeah, man. Amazon stock trading at damn near $3,000 a share right now. I'm telling you, there's people who bought Amazon probably like $20-something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's real. Crazy. All right. Learning to look at symbols. All right, let's wrap it up with this. On page 59, this is the last thing I got. I'm gonna read this, but I'm gonna pose the question first. And then I'm gonna pose the question after I read it. So I'm gonna slow walk it, but is it true? Is it true? This is the conclusion. This the very last paragraph, page 59. Learning to look at symbols, the ISIS papers. So it reads, as stated previously, the dominant aspect of the total environmental reality on the planet is that the overwhelming majority of people are black, brown, red, and yellow. This fact has created the most fundamental collective preoccupation and perhaps fear in the global white collective, white genetic survival. A survival that is threatened by the genetic material contained in the genitals of black and other non-white men. Non-white people are genetically dominant to whites and thus are potentially genetic annihilators of the minority of white collective. Due to this fear of white genetic annihilation, the global white collective has evolved. During the last 2,000 years, the global white supremacy system and culture that dominates all black, brown, red, and yellow peoples in the world, determining their behavior in all areas of people activity. Is it true? Is it true?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
You've come to that conclusion?
As we haven't read and got through the whole thing, but when you try to ask yourself, why is it that, things are the way they are and have been for so long, and why this and why, when you ask yourself why, that does actually make the most sense. I keep coming back to that explanation. You know what I'm saying? That makes the most sense. If I knew that my people were the minority and not the majority on a planet full of people, off rip, I'm already going to feel threatened because it's more of them and less of us. So everything that I would have to do would be up for, like, there would be no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? It would be, what's the word? It would be a purge. It would be, you know what I'm saying, my back's against the wall. I have to survive. I got to take care of my family. So I'm willing to do whatever I got to do. So, hell yeah, put sugar in that food or feed them this or tell them that or lie to them or steal from them or make them work for and slave them. Of course, that kind of makes the most sense because I think from that fear is what it is. From that fear, that's going to make you do anything. So everything is up for discussion. So I really do believe that. I'm not all the way there like 100%, but I'm damn near like 90-some% sure like that is the thing that's driving white people's hate and anger because if you look at their history, it's always been that. Violence, rage, war, all that type of shit. That's what it's always been. And why else would you do it? It's got to be out of fear. Why else? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not all the way there, but I'm damn near there. Like, You know what I'm saying? I've heard other, prominent black scholars kind of allude to that as well. You know what I'm saying? But it makes sense. It really do.
Well, okay, because, man, you be hitting on stuff. So I'm gonna start with the latter and then try to work my way back. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so when you was talking about the fear, man, shit, I got a question there. Like, because if you fearful of something, like truly, truly fearful, and I'm fearful of something, like I ain't gonna be in fear too much longer. Like I don't live in fear, so I'm gonna try to figure out some kind of way to overcome that fear, whether it's eradicating that fear, like getting rid of it some kind of way, or facing it head on or something. But I won't really allow myself to live in fear. So if they truly do fear us like that, my question, why don't they get rid of us then? They have the military might to do so. So, like, why don't they get rid of us then? That's my question. If that's true that they truly fear us.
Right. Ask that one more time. I didn't hear that last part.
Okay, so if they truly fear us, why don't they get rid of us then? Because, like, they have the military might to do so. So, if you're truly in fear of something, you're not going to live in fear too much, like, longer. It's more of, like, I'm going to confront that fear head on. I'm going to try to figure out some kind of way to overcome that fear. I'm going to, like, eradicate that fear, get rid of it some kind of way. Like, that's what I mean when I was saying that. So, yeah, think about that. If you were in fear, if I was in fear of something, like truly in fear, bro, you ain't finna, like, just be like that all your life. You ain't going to let that just slide. Like, some kind of way you're going to figure that out. Is that okay to say?
Right, I agree. I think a big part of the system and the way that they've set it up, I think it feeds to. Let me say it this way: the way that they set the system up, it actually helps to ease that fear. Like, well, it's still there, but it's just not there as much because they can actually see. If we go back to that diagram from a feedback standpoint, they're looking at the feedback based on the shit that they put out there. You know what I'm saying? Using terms, connecting us as minorities, you know what I'm saying? When really we're the majority. Just little subtle little word slippages and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So as they're getting that feedback from us, I think that feedback is telling them that that they don't have to be fearful as much. But I think at the end of the day, I think there is still some fear there. But I think that the feedback that they've gotten based on all the hundreds of years of how things have been, I think it's kind of put them in a comfortable place where they feel comfortable and confident in operating, you know what I'm saying, and doing what they do. Plus, I think they do enjoy thoroughly. They really do enjoy our entertainment, and they understand that they've used us to benefit financially as well. So they see the benefit that we have, but if they can just keep us at bay, I think that fear is going to be low as well. So I think they've just essentially just rigged the game in their favor, you know what I'm saying, to keep their fear low, but also they're milking us for what they can get out of us. You know what I'm saying, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes total sense to me. Okay, all right. I like that. Well, okay, and then, like I said, we're going to try to work back. So you was talking about something earlier. Shit. Well, let's go here. With, like, all the college courses you done took, I done took, whatever, like, if all this is true with this whole genetic thing, like, if it's really true, why weren't we taught like this in school? Like, they know our history. They know this stuff with them. If it's science, it's been proven. So why weren't we taught this? Why are we having to, like, in our latter years, like, try to find this information? Why wasn't it presented to us, with all the other stuff they taught us?
Because I feel like going back to the chart, you know what I'm saying, if they put that out into the total environment, you know what I'm saying? I think how we're starting to become now, we're going to be more and more, feel more empowered. And then we're going to start becoming more like Dr. Claude Anderson, where it's like now you can not only like hear it in our voice, like we're confident, now we're moving, our behavior now is changing, and we're getting together because now we see that there's really no power in being divisive and, you know, competing with each other and all that. We're starting to actually see the bullshit for what it is and ultimately dismantling their system and knocking them out of their place. So they have to throw that propaganda and the bullshit out there into the environment so that it'll feed into our brain computer so that ultimately it'll produce favorable results for the creators of the system and the game. You know what I'm saying? Because like Dr. Claude Anderson say, the working a job and just that particular economic and labor system is not designed to redistribute wealth. It ain't designed for that. You know what I'm saying? It's designed to keep wealth at the top. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be able to work a job and become wealthy. Give a damn how much you get paid. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be able to do it. Exchange enough time for enough money to truly be wealthy, you and your family. Like, it's not designed for that. You know what I'm saying? So the system itself, it ain't designed for us to, like, you know what I'm saying, know who we truly are because, again, there's true power in that. You know what I'm saying? So the white folks, they got to do whatever they can to continue to hide it and manipulate it and rig it, you know what I'm saying, and deceive us. They got to do whatever they can because, again, just operating off that whole, like she say, the fear of genetic annihilation, you know, they got to do whatever's best for them. Shit, they don't care nothing about, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing to us. They don't care nothing about that. That ain't how the system was designed.
Yeah, that's real. Shit. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. You want to lead the people to anything? Leave them with some jewels, or, you know, how you feeling? You dropping the mic?
I'm just gonna tell them, you know what I'm saying. We can kind of butter them up and set them up for next week, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to because this was one that, you know, I've kind of been hearing a lot of chatter about, you know what I'm saying, over the years, and I'm looking to get her insight on it. You know what I'm saying. If I may just kind of quickly set up, you know, the next chapter, chapter 5, the symbolism of Christ, the cross, the crucifix, the communion, and Christian holidays, August 1977 and February 1979.
Ooh.
You know, really giving it to you. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, I'm salivating. Oh, man.
Right.
Straight up.
77, that was my year.
Right. Soft hat. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Well, let's before I forget, like I forgot last week. So let's leave them with our tagline. So reading is more important than watching television. Like, this is something that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing would stress all the time, and I definitely resonate with that. I'm starting to really see the importance in that. You know, so refresh your brain computer. You know what I'm saying? I know your shit probably cloudy and dirty. Refresh that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you need to update, restyle, whatever, hey, get that shit together, man. Turn the Wi-Fi off. You know, read a book. That's where we at. That's all I got for him.
Read a book. Right. Read a book. Read a goddamn book.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick. Like, if we ever was to put this out to the world or whatever, have you thought about what you want to be called? Well, you know, I know I've been calling you Blaze, but is that what you want to go by, or what would you like to be called? You know, remember now, this is a book study. You know, Rich Mahogany. Right. You know, I'm swirling something brown over here. So
right. So I've been thinking about that. So as I'm about to get ready to embark upon just my little teaching things and all the stuff I'm doing with a little financial literacy stuff and all that, I kind of see myself doing more stuff like this. You know, more podcasting, more just interviewing, more just chopping it up about real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know, man. You know what I'm saying? To answer your question right now, I really don't know.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get back to the people on that.
I'm open to switching it up though.
Right. We gonna get back to the people on that. You know, if they stick with us as we grow, you know, they'll find out. But you know, right now we incognito. You know, we got the black light on.
Right. Now that's real, man. But for all y'all who don't like to read, you know what I'm saying, it'll be good. We giving your ass the cliff notes.
That's true. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you doing this with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Late night.
No doubt, man. I need to go and get on my reading for the week, because I've been slacking. And this chapter right here, it ain't gonna be a quick little fly by night. She went a little bit in detail with this one. I kind of gave it a quick little glance, once over just now. This one ain't just no quick little pick 'em up, bust 'em.
Okay. Well,
get in there a little bit.
I'm definitely fascinated with the subject matter. You know, like from that title you just read. I'm glad she went in depth, but I'm gonna fly through them pages. I tell you that, because I talk about that all the time. You know, if anybody know me, I do not celebrate holidays. I call them horror days. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm ready.
Real.
So, all right. Huh? Where you at? I can't hear you. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to sign out?
For sure.
All right. Same time next week. Catch it in.
Yes, sir, man. Take it easy, man. Good chopping it up with you, brother.
All right. Same for you. Later.
Yep.